Rolling. Hi guys, welcome back to All I Know About Depop. There's been a lot of talk lately about Depop sales being slow, and this is something I have experienced myself. This video is going to be about 4 little things that I do every day that have drastically improved my sales and only take 30 minutes to do. Amazing. This is probably going to be a super quick video. I'm just going to tell you what I do and why I think it works. So if you are looking for a bit of a pick-me-up for Depop, then be sure to give these a go. Okay, so welcome to my Depop morning routine. So this is what I do at the minute every morning. In front of me is my desk and this is my office. I come to my office, I sit down, and these are the 4 things that are on my to-do list that I do straight away. Like we're doing anything on Depop, this is going to be a 30-minute workout for your thumbs. Okay, let's go. Ooh, offer. So the first thing that I'm going to do when I open the Depop app is go to my notifications. Well, I mean, I probably look at sales and messages, but after that, we go to the notifications. And the first of the 4 things that I do is send everyone an offer that I can. So I just go through all of the notifications, send an offer. Most of the time, I just take off a few pounds and send the offer. If I'm feeling lazy, then I will just click on the 50% off button because it's just a little bit quicker. If it's a slightly older item, then I might send a cheeky offer to try and get it gone. When you do this in the morning, most of these likes will be from the evening before, so I think it acts as like a bit of a reminder to come back to the shop and have a look at what you were liking last night. And for those that were maybe considering checking out, this little discount might encourage them to check out today. After I've sent everyone an offer that I can, the next thing that I do is discount some items. I will scroll down and find some of my older items. I will normally discount these to £15, £10, £8, £5, just depending on how long they've been on the shop. Now, when you discount these, everyone that's liked the item will get a notification, so it acts as a bit of a reminder that your shop exists and to come and have a browse. I find that when you have several £5 items on your shop, people will tend to buy them as a bundle, so they'll buy multiple £5 items, or they'll buy a regular priced item with a £5 item as well. So I think this works well to get items moving and to get more people to look on your page. Okay, so the third thing that I do is find a listing that has lots of likes and send a mass offer to everyone that's liked that listing. This is essentially the same as the first one, but this way you can send a lot of offers to a lot of people with just one click. And this includes people that might have liked the item a long time ago, and it brings them back to potentially look at your shop. So this brings eyes to the shop and it pushes items that are popular to sell. A lot of these things are all about bringing more people to look at your shop, which I don't think I had to be as tactical as I do now in the past with Depop, which I think is quite interesting, so I'm going to talk about that at the end. So the last thing that I do is Depop textbook. I'm going to do some refreshing. This is where you edit a listing, you don't change anything, and then you press save. And the listing gets bumped to the top of your shop and in theory bumped to the top of Depop's algorithm in search. Now, I actually used to use a Depop bot which would allow me to refresh all the listings without having to do it manually. It was called Depop, if anyone is interested. I think it's fine to use as long as you don't spam. But I actually ended my subscription because I wasn't sure if refreshing listings actually worked anymore. But from what I've gathered, refreshing still actually, I think, bumps your listing up the Depop algorithm. Which is odd because I thought they would have updated that by now, because it just feels like that's not the best way to do it, but I don't think they have. Anyway, I now do it manually, so I refresh about 10 to 15 listings every morning. Sometimes I'll try and make it look pretty, so I'll refresh all of the same colour, but I don't actually think that helps sales that much. I make sure to bring older items up to the top of the page, especially ones that I've just discounted, so when people do come onto the page, they see the discounts and they see older items, and hopefully stuff eventually does sell if I keep bringing it back up. Okay, so that is my morning Depop routine that I do every weekday at the minute. It's pretty simple stuff, but doing it consistently has had such a good impact on my sales. It feels like Depop is no longer somewhere where you can just drop your listings and let them sell. It feels much more like I have to be like a car salesman at the minute to sell my stuff on Depop. I feel like I'm constantly sending offers and getting people to come and have a look just so I can get those sales consistently. Which brings me on to the last discussion point for this video. With Depop at the minute, I'm constantly trying to bring more attention to my shop by sending offers and doing discounts. And that is essentially how I'm making my shop tick along. Now that is a lot different than what it used to be. I mean, only recently we had the introduction of the offer button. I think that was only like 2 or 3 years ago. Before, it felt like there was a lot more attention on my shop just from showing up in search. So I guess my question is, how do I get more attention to my shop just by showing up in search? Or is this just how Depop is now? And do we need to ask more of Depop? Like, is it Depop's responsibility to, you know, help our listings reach the right people? I think Depop is actually under a lot of threat at the minute. Recently, there have been a few more contenders in the reseller app industry. Vinted in the UK has completely blown up in the last few years, and there's also Whatnot, which is maybe up and coming, but Vinted has definitely threatened Depop, I think. From selling stuff on Vinted, I've noticed that Vinted is a lot better at putting the right items in front of the right buyers. I've noticed this mostly from shopping on Depop. Depop is so good at figuring out exactly what I want to buy and then when I open the app, putting it in front of me straight away. Whereas Depop doesn't seem to be as good at that. So is this something we need to be asking Depop to be better at? Or it could be that we're just feeling the impact of all these new seller apps being introduced and not as many people are on Depop anymore. But then again, if Depop was as good as matching the listing with the right buyer, then I guess more people would use Depop. So I'm not sure how strong that argument is. So let me know what you think. I definitely have some strong opinions on this. Hopefully, if you are struggling a little bit with Depop sales, these tips will help you out and help keep things ticking along and making money. Best of luck with your shops, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Whereas Depop doesn't seem to be as good as that at that. Whereas Depop doesn't seem to be as good at that. That's really hard to say. Whereas Depop doesn't seem to be as good at that. Whereas Depop doesn't seem to be as good at that as at that. Whereas Depop doesn't seem to be as good at that. Why can't I say that? Whereas Depop doesn't seem to be as good at that.